Hypixel, Minecraft Java's largest server. It has over 100 minigames, so there's bound to be some bad ones that ultimately get removed. I've compiled all of these removed games into one big iceberg, and I know what you're thinking, oh Railbeam, there's some YouTubers that's already done. No, they have left out so many other games, and I've done a deep dive, and I really hope I did not miss any games. If you think I missed any games, please comment down below. But anyways, I'm gonna quit yapping, so let's just jump into this iceberg. The first game on this iceberg is Scuba Simulator. Released on June 16th, 2020 alongside the 2020 summer event, Scuba Simulator is a simulator game where you collect treasure to earn points, with the player who has the most points at the end of the game winning. What made Scuba unique from other simulators is its point system. In every other simulator but Scuba, each item found is worth 1 point. Scuba had 5 unique items you could find, ranging between 1 to 5 points. If you don't know, simulator games are games that appear during holiday events like Halloween, Christmas, and Easter, with Scuba obviously happening during the summer. Scuba Simulator is not an officially removed game, although it has only appeared during the 2020 summer event. But why has Scuba not made its return 3 years later? In a forum post, Silent, a Hypixel admin, stated that its unique point system ultimately led to its downfall. The future of Scuba Simulator is very uncertain, but I enjoyed this game and I hope to see it back in a future summer event. Moving down the iceberg, we have Skyclash. Released in early October 2016, Skyclash was in many ways a different version of Skywars. Skyclash had larger islands and classes with specific abilities and perks. The maps were situated in the void with a starter island with only 2 chests instead of the traditional 3, like in Skywars. There was, of course, a middle area with better loot. These islands were bigger than in traditional Skywars, so you really only had to do a few small jumps to get around. The chests had special items such as fireballs, spawn eggs, and other armor pieces. And to win, you simply just had to be the last player or team standing. In the lobby, you could choose a class and use 3 cards which gave you special perks and abilities. These 3 cards could be upgraded with duplicate cards or coins. In my opinion, this game was way ahead of its time. It was the first game on the server to use the special display board in the lobby for the class selector, and it was also the first game to have a health bar above mobs that were spawned in. Just imagine how good Skyclash could have been if it was developed in the modern era of Hypixel. Sadly, Skyclash was its demise in May of 2019, being the first ever minigame to be removed by Hypixel. The game hadn't received any updates since 2018 and was in a state of disrepair. While there's still a small, dedicated community, Hypixel ultimately chose to have the game removed permanently. Crazy Walls was released in November of 2015. The Crazy Walls map is split using red and green walls. The red walls split the map into 4 quadrants, while the green walls split those quadrants into 4 more quadrants, so there are 16 areas. After 4.5 minutes, the green walls fall, leaving only 4 quadrants, and after 6.5 minutes, the red walls fall, leaving the whole map. In a minute and a half after this, deathmatch starts. In the deathmatch, the border shrinks, pushing players closer to each other until the final player standing wins. During initial prep time, players can mine ores and collect string and use them to buy items from the shopkeeper in your area. Crazy Walls also had lucky modes. These lucky modes included lucky blocks, which are cool. You know what else is cool? Subscribing to my channel. And also, this giant zombie in the lobby where you can unlock kits and perks. You know what's not so cool? In June of 2020, Hypixel removed this game due to its low player count. Arguably the best removed Hypixel game is Hypixel Battle Royale. It was released in January of 2018 with the hype around Battle Royale games at an all-time high. Battle Royale was Hypixel's take on popular games in the genre, inspired by PUBG, Fortnite, and of course classic survival games like UHC and Blitz. On this absolutely massive map, you had to try your best to find chests with weapons and tools and fight to be the last one standing. To prevent people camping in spots like houses, there's a border that closes in slowly, so if you're outside this border, you will take damage over time. There was actually no armor in this game, only weapons and healing items, which made it stand out from games like Blitz. Sometime in September of the same year, it was removed, and the reason for this was that, quote, as most of you are probably aware, Minecraft has certain limits on what we can do in it, and we weren't able to provide an experience within its limits that were to our standards. So there you go, one of the best removed Hypixel games gone because of Minecraft's limitations. Tower Wars was a defense prototype game released in January of 2019. You could play solo or in a team of 2. Each team is assigned a lane which other players can spawn mobs in, and vice versa. You can place down a variety of defenses to prevent taking damage from these mobs. If they reach the end of your lane, you lose 1 out of your 20 lives. Last one to survive wins. In many ways, this was a Minecraft version of Bloons Tower Defense. Tower Wars was in the prototype lobby for a little over 3 years, which I think makes it the longest game to sit in the prototype lobby. Unfortunately, Tower Wars would never make it out because in February of 2022 it was removed due to the lack of players and to make way for new games. King of the Hill was released into the prototype lobby in May of 2018. The objective is pretty straightforward. Get to the hill in the middle of the map and earn points for your team, and the first to reach 1000 points wins. It's kinda like Wizards, but not quite. There are also altars on each side of the map which don't give you points but gives your team a buff. These buffs are power, healing, speed, and resistance. On top of this, each player can choose 3 perks which can get them an advantage in certain situations. During the game, you can earn gold, which you can use to upgrade your gear and purchase powerful items. Gold is gained passively every second and by killing enemies. Personally, I used to play this game all the time and I really enjoyed it. However, in November of 2019, we would see its removal by Hypixel admins due to its lack of attention and to make way for new prototype game modes. Invaders was one of the most complex games Hypixel has ever put out, or maybe I'm just dumb. It was released December 15, 2021 into the prototype lobby. All teams spawn inside their ship, however, the ship must be repaired. You must gather resources in order to repair the ship and win. However, other teams want the same resources. All players are equipped with a jetpack, which can be activated by using the feather in your inventory. For your ship to get to full power, you must obtain energy cubes, which can be mined with your pickaxe. Be careful though, because once you collect it, your location will be revealed to other players. There are different types of islands, each with its unique resources needed to repair your ship. This game was very different from what Hypixel usually puts out, and it's not very new player friendly. With that being said, it didn't average enough players to Hypixel's liking. It was seen as too complicated, so in only 3 months, yes, 3 months, it was ultimately removed from the prototype lobby. So I've already talked about the first ever game removed from the server, but what was the first prototype game removed from the server? That game would be Survival Dash. Before recording this video, I'd never even heard of Survival Dash, so I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't either. Released in January of 2017, Survival Dash is basically Blitz with 72 players and a dash ability. Now, I think we can all tell why this got removed because, quite frankly, it's just bad. Not to sound like a hater or anything, but why have a game which is basically a mega version of Blitz try to be its own separate game? Maybe if they removed the dash ability and renamed it Mega Blitz, it could have worked in the Blitz lobby, but we all know how Mega Skywars turned out. I think this game was doomed to fail, and it received a lot of criticism, with people on the forums calling it a garbage game. Survival Dash was eventually removed a month later. Party Games 1 featured 9 unique games, however 2 did not make the cut: boat racing and punch the bats. In boat racing, players must reach the bottom of the water slide, avoiding moving logs and the walls. This game was removed shortly after the release of 1.9 due to issues with the boat. Punch the Bats, on the other hand, was actually one of the games included with the merge, but it was later removed for unknown reasons. In this game, you spawn in the stone brick tower where you, well, punch bats, and whoever punched the most wins. Each bat is worth 1 point, and there's an occasional bonus bat which is worth 3 points. You can also double jump, which makes the game easier. I think this game and Animal Slaughter are a lot similar, so that might be the reason why it was removed, but who knows. Well, we've reached the bottom of the iceberg, and there's really only 2 games left. But first I want to talk about Party Games 3. Party Games 3 is the only party game which saw all of its games survive the merge. What's interesting about Party Games 3 is that one of the games emerged into its own standalone game, which you can still play to this day. Can you guess what game it is? It's actually Hole in the Wall. Hole in the Wall had a lot of hype around it, so in October of 2015, the game earned its own spot in the arcade lobby. Party Games 2 had 10 games, with only 1 not being added with the merge of Party Games: Horse Race. Horse Race involved players racing on a horse around a track 3 times, with the first one to complete the race the fastest wins. How fun. I'm convinced that the least known game on Hypixel is Hypixel Sports. Released in November of 2018, it was sometimes referred as Party Games 4, as at the time there was a Party Games 1, 2, and 3. 6 players would play in the 3 minigames: sprint, hurdles, and swim, in a stadium. Just like in Party Games, the winner of each minigame will get 3 stars, second place gets 2, and third gets 1. In sprint, players would have to reach the finish line by alternating left and right clicks. In hurdles, you had to alternate left and right clicks with the correct timing to be the first across the finish line. Timing your clicks so that the left and right legs move together at the same time will let you jump over the hurdles. Swim is the same concept as sprint, just underwater. This game is designed to be a bit frustrating and challenging, like the style of old Flash games.
Look at him! Go forward, you fucking idiot!
Unlike other games in this video, Hypixel Sports was not meant to stay on the network forever, as stated in the forum post. And so, in March of 2019, Hypixel Sports was removed with the merge of the 3 party games in part 1 of the 2019 arcade update. So what do you guys think? Did some of these games have potential? What games would you like to see back? And do you think Hypixel will ever remove any other games? I'd love to hear your suggestions in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe because I'm trying to hit 350 subscribers by the end of this month. And you want to help your boy out, right? Hopefully. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Be sure to like, subscribe, yeah, alright, whatever, see ya.